Mark Salino, CEO and founder of StatementGames.com. It's just going to be me this week. So last week we recorded an episode of Making Picks. We did a little bit of a pick'em episode for the last full week of kind of like football. And as it turns out, we got a couple of the guys in Will and Nathan. They're doing some traveling. Everyone is actually getting in full, Thanksgiving kind of mode here. I was thinking about kind of like, just taking the full week off, but hey, you know what? I'm just trying to be consistent and at least kind of like, putting out something. So for this week, or for at least this episode, everyone is you just stuck with me for today here. So like I said here, I was thinking about just scrapping the whole week here, but why not just kind of like do a little something here? I mean, after all, we have Thanksgiving tomorrow. You got a full slate of kind of like football games here. Although I don't know, depending on who you talk to, or in my personal opinion, I mean, can you really get that excited about the Detroit Lions versus Chicago kind of like Bears? Not really, but hey, you know what? The Raiders are on a little bit of a skid. Hopefully they make a decent kind of like game taking on the Cowboys down in Dallas. Buffalo, let's see if they kind of like rebound. And hey, you know what? The atmosphere in New Orleans should be kind of like pretty good. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So just kind of like a little recap here. We'll get back into the full slate of things kind of like next week. In touching or looking back at last week here, I was able to make my my first kind of like purchase of NFTs around the New York Islanders. So I know that we like to kind of like start one of these shows and where we just kind of like review some of the things that we're investing in. But I'll get into full details. But just as a quick little recap, I did make my first 2 NFT purchases last week, and we'll get into more of the weeds and the details when Nathan and Will are able to kind of like get back. With regards to, the way that everything is kind of like looking here. So, I mean, last 2 weeks, I'm on a little bit of a skid. So I am 2 wins and 4 losses, but I'm still kind of like looking pretty good for the year. My total for the year is 23 wins, 19 losses. And tallying up all the numbers here and taking a look at Will's picks. So keep in mind, he wasn't around. He was around last week, but didn't necessarily make picks last week due to illness and some other things that he had kind of like going on with his full-time job here. But for the year, Will is just completely kind of like horrible. He's 16 wins, 23 kind of like losses, and that's kind of like with missing a full slate of picks for the week here, which him missing or not actually making picks for 1 week. Probably not necessarily like a bad thing, but we'll get back to busting his chops kind of like next week. As we had mentioned last week, I still plan on kind of like doing something special kind of like for Friday. We'll see how that goes here and how quickly I can kind of advance and pick up on some technology and things like that. So pretty limited right now, but I have a couple of different tricks up my sleeve. Let's see if I can actually execute on the technology plan coming up on Friday. And touching on Nathan, well, he's actually, he's heating up a little bit here. So I got my eye on the overall kind of standings. Nathan wound up going 2 for 3 last week. So his total for the year is 22 wins, 20 losses. So he's only, 1 game, or I'm only ahead of him by 1 game in the win column. So as well as the loss column. We're actually, 1-1. So let's kind of like, see how kind of goes here. So, I mean, if you want to go ahead and kind of like, full disclosure, why aren't these 2 turkeys here? No pun intended. Well, let's just kind of like, let's call a spade here. I mean, there's certain people who are a little bit more dedicated to putting out content with regards to this show and kind of like, trying to keep things consistent than others. So, yeah, I guess it's pretty fair to say that I just work a little, harder than those guys, but whatever. I guess the trip out to Michigan must be fun. Will, I know that he was kind of traveling from Chicago over to the East Coast here. I thought he was going to be around and he would kind of like have some time to spare, whether it be later in the evening yesterday, as I record right now. It's 1 day before Thanksgiving, so it's the 24th, and I thought he'd actually be around today here, but hey, I guess there's other important things that he must be attending to. But anyway, let's get on to kind of like some making picks here. So I am kind of like playing in a contest. I believe it's either 1 or 2. I'm going to be playing like a couple of them leading into tomorrow. So StatementGames.com, or simply go to SportsHost.com. Click on the Daily Fantasy Sports tab from Sports Host. It's going to bring you right into the slate of games here. So The rules are pretty simple for those who've been following us there. So if anyone wants to just, take a look at sportshost.com or go directly to StatementGames.com, log into the lobby. It's pretty simple and easy. You can do so with a Facebook account, Gmail account, or do it the old-fashioned way by registering a valid email address as well as a password. Takes you right in. This is a free-to-play game. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about the Buffalo Bills and the New Orleans Saints games tomorrow night, Thanksgiving night, primetime game. So assuming that you haven't stuffed your face with too much turkey and some pumpkin pie here, and that you're still conscious and watching football, hey, you know what? Why not tune into this game here? So when taking a look at this game, before we actually get into the game here, a little bit of an offer. So anybody who decides to play in this free-to-play game here, although it's free-to-play, I'm going to come to the table with either a Josh Allen or Alvin Kamara PSA 10 rookie card. So I will put some photos in the description, or follow Statement Games or Mark Salino on social media. I'll put the pictures of the cards on the on social media. But I guess let me just pull it up right now here. So for the Josh Allen card, this is going to be a 2019 Panini Donruss. And for the Alvin Kamara, it's going to be a 2017 Panini Donruss. So, I mean, both cards go for anywhere between 150 to $200. So here's my little free scratch off or free lottery ticket. Take advantage of it. So the way this is going to work here is that you got to follow a, series of very simple rules here. So to be eligible for the prize, one, you need to be a subscriber to Statement Games on YouTube or on Rumble. Just search on Statement Games. We'll go ahead and pop right up here. And as you're watching this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, give the video a like, drop a comment in the comment section below. And within the comment section here, state what your sports host or Statement Games username is. Go ahead and also state which card you want to win. You don't get both here, so you have an option to pick either one or the other. State whether you want to play for the Josh Allen or the Alvin Kamara rookie card. And then also when you're playing Statement Games, the Buffalo Bills versus New Orleans Saints game here, state what your number 10 pick is. And in doing so, of course, you do need to go 10 for 10 with your picks. You complete those little steps here, the card is yours. More than happy to send that out to you. And, whether you want to use FedEx, UPS, or the good old-fashioned United States Postal Service, doesn't necessarily matter to me. Tracking numbers will be provided here, but it's our little, way of stirring up some additional engagement around our free-to-play game. So although it's free, there are some things that you can compete for and go ahead and win. So when taking a look at the Thanksgiving night game, I got a couple different picks that I'm keying in on. So for my first selection here, I like the New Orleans Saints defense under 2.5 sacks. I understand that Buffalo's struggling a little bit here. They looked god-awful last week against the Colts here. A couple weeks ago, lost in Jacksonville. Yeah, I understand that they blew out the Jets, but the Jets are the Jets. So, Buffalo's struggling a little bit here. But however, when taking a look at the sacks total for the Saints defense here, the one thing that I noticed that the Bills are actually doing is obviously Buffalo is a passing first offense, and their pass blocking schemes have actually been pretty good here. Josh Allen wound up dropping back 35 times last week. He was only sacked once, and he was only actually hit 3 times here. So Buffalo, let's see if they could get back to being Buffalo. I do expect the line to play well, and for Allen to eventually at some point get back to Allen. Let's see how it goes over here. So for our first pick here, let's take the New Orleans Saints defense under 2.5 sacks. For my second pick here, in this game here, I do expect the Bills defense to get back to being the Bills defense. So I'm going to be locking in on the Kamara and Ingram, two of them combined. I'm going to go with the under 145 all-purpose yards for those two backs here. I understand that there's an opportunity for one of these backs to bust a screenplay and rack up yards that way. That's one of the risks that I am willing to take with this pick. But, Buffalo plays well against the run. Take last week and just throw throw it out the window for a second here. I mean, overall, you're looking at a team that's only giving up 4.1 yards per carry. They're tied for sixth in the league in that specific kind of category, and they're ninth in overall kind of rushing defense within the NFL. They're only giving up about 102 yards per game. So take the passing game out of the equation. I understand that's a big part of what Simeon can kind of do with the Saints, but for my number 2 pick here, let's just go ahead and keep the Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram under 145 all-purpose yards as my second pick. And for my third and last pick, I am actually going to take Josh Allen under 285.5 passing yards. I understand that Buffalo passes or protects pretty well, but he's got to start playing better, especially if we're going to start making some Josh Allen picks from a over perspective in the passing category. So 3 weeks ago, 264 yards passing against Jacksonville. I understand 2 weeks ago he put up, 366 yards against the Jets, but enough said about that. And just an abysmal performance last week against the Colts with 209. So before I start making the jump and locking in him and anything like over 285, 290, 300, just need to kind of go ahead and see a little bit more. So third and last pick, Josh Allen under 285.5 passing yards. Everybody have a wonderful, happy, and safe Thanksgiving. I'll catch you in a little bit. Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.